Rachel, could you tell us a bit about how you found out about Future Home Care?
Back in June 2003, I'd just returned after living for 8 years in New York as a teacher, and I'd literally just come back to Birmingham and wasn't really sure what I wanted to do. I happened to see the ad in the Mail, the Birmingham Mail, and it was advertising for a support worker with no experience. So I just decided to pick up the phone and ring. I didn't really expect to receive a call back asking to come for an interview, but I did. A couple of weeks later, I was offered a post as a support worker. I was supporting a young lady in Hall Green to live within her own home. She was coming from institutional care and she had very challenging behaviour.
Now, I understand you moved on quite quickly within Future Home Care. Soon you were a project manager. How did that come about?
Only about 3 months into the job, there was a post going as a project manager. So I applied for it and I got it. Very surprised, obviously, but thrilled. Stayed as a project manager for 5 years. Very hard job, but really, really rewarding and worthwhile. I would say to anyone, if they had the opportunity to go for this post, to do so. Start from the bottom, come in as a support worker and work your way up. Very, very rewarding.
I'm told that when it comes to helping service users, you've got some personal experience to draw on, haven't you?
I mean, I think from a personal point of view, I grew up with an uncle who had a learning disability. But as a child, he was always part of the family. We never treated him any differently to you or I would. And he wasn't looked at as having a learning disability, really. So when I suddenly came on board to Future Home Care and seeing the problems out there with people that did have a learning disability and didn't have the support from a close family network or some professionals, I was quite horrified, actually, to be fair. Because, as I said, my uncle is known to have challenging behaviour, but he gets on a bus, he lives in his own home, he does his own shopping. We've never known any different. So suddenly seeing these people that are in hospital settings, long-term settings, residential settings, and having absolutely no access to the community or to their families, I just couldn't believe it. I thought I'd gone back in time.
On the subject of, shall we say, care in the community, as a support worker, were you able to work with the wider community?
Definitely. I mean, as a support worker, I loved being a support worker because you were very much hands-on. You got to know them. You got to know what they wanted to do. About giving them choice and helping them, grow in their independence. We got to know people within the community and the local community. One situation was this particular service user, the bus was important to her, but she had to walk around it 3 times before she got on. Bus driver got to know us and it became part of his routine as much as ours. So they became very fond of the service users as well within the community. So it was about helping people to understand in the community what was needed and why, they had as much right to live within their own homes.
Looking back over your time with Future Home Care, did things work out as you had hoped they would?
Absolutely. As I said, I came on board not expecting anything from the company, really. I just saw this advert. I was interested in it immediately, and I just thought, yeah, I'll give it a go, see what happens. As I said, I loved being a support worker, and I'm always very happy to go back and do shifts now if the need is there. Project manager, again, through growth and development, very much a learning curve. I hadn't done this before. I hadn't managed people before. Suddenly I went from being a support worker to managing large groups of staff teams and understanding supervisions, holding staff meetings, dealing with issues, concerns, behaviours that became challenging from the service users, families. It was an all new ball game for me, complete new ball game, but a very good experience.
And finally, what's next for Rachel and Future Home Care?
Well, after leaving my post as a support worker, I went on to be an assessment and set-up manager within the company. Again, I qualified as a social worker during that time. Future Home Care helped me achieve my qualification. I did that job for about a year, and from there I moved on to being a regional manager for Solihull and East Birmingham. What comes next? I don't know. I'm waiting to see. I don't really want to go anywhere at the moment. I'm enjoying my post as a regional manager and learning more and more each week. Who knows? I love working for the company. I like what we do. I believe in what we do, which is why I'm still here 6.5 years later, and I hope we continue to help lots of people out there that need our help.